This is Michelle here at Life Mantra Tarot. Um, Good evening. It's kind of late for me. It's like almost 10:30, which I never go on this late. Well, very rarely, I should say. But it is also the night before Labor Day, so I'm like, a lot of people are probably off, so why not? Do something a little bit different. So anywho, I hope you guys are all well. I haven't checked in about 5 days or so. But yeah, I felt inspired to go on. Some of my favorite readers posted stuff or were on, and I'm like, it just pushed me to say, like, you know what, I feel like I want to go on, and I feel good about it. So I felt guided to do a messages from higher self reading. Haven't done one of those in a while, so hopefully it's insightful and it helps some people out. Hey, Lovey! There goes one of my favorite people in the whole wide world, the Phoenix Priestess. That is my girl right there. That is my roadie. So check her out because she's great at what she does. Check her out probably primarily on her Facebook. I think that would probably be the best way to get in touch with her. But you can always check her out on here. Hey Queen, how you doing, girl? So with all that said, before I start blabbering on too much, like I always do, um, yeah. So for those of you who are new, welcome. And I hope you like what you see here. Decide to stick around and, check out other videos and things of that nature. Hit that subscribe button, notification bell, all that good stuff so that you'll know when I'm on and all of that good stuff. So with all that said, for those who have been rocking with your girl for a while, like my folks that have already popped in, I'm always grateful for you guys and the continued support. So thank you, thank you, thank you. Yeah, so hit that like button. And yeah, so like I said, this is going to be a messages from your higher self reading. So I'm going to, I already cleansed the space and all that stuff and cleansed myself. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start off with just like general energy, like to see what's going on with you guys. I'm gonna pull a few cards from the Ascending Life deck and then go from there. I pulled a few different decks that I just felt drawn to. I might not pull from all of them. I might. I don't know. We shall see. So, without further ado, Spirit may let positive energy into this reading for the collective. Show the collective what they need to see at this time for their highest good, clearest, and most accurate messages, please and thank you. All right, I'm going to split this deck, see what's going on. Ooh, I like that. We have happiness when I split the deck. Feeling happy about your life, an incident that made you happy, a smoother ride through life, and feeling on top of the world here in the middle of the deck. I like that. So you guys are in the process of focusing on, that greater sense of intrinsic happiness, like all around, right? This might have come after a period of feeling a sense of coldness in your life. It says coldness, absence of love. Love life is blocked, frozen in some area of your life, emotions buried deep within. Now that's quite a juxtaposition there because those are very, very different energies, right? So I'm really picking up on this is where you're headed. This is what you're focused on. This is what your higher self wants you to continue to focus on. Kind of, I heard the word thaw, thawing out your heart, right? After that period of, feeling that coldness. It's hard to see the artistry on here, so bear with me. But like, it's literally like a block of ice, like shaped like a heart, and flowers trying to grow out of that ice, right? So there's this coldness, and there's things that are meant to grow, right? Including your happiness, but you gotta let that coldness, I just heard take that chip off your shoulder. I just heard. So I think that's something that you guys are working on or have worked on. I'll shuffle a few times and then we'll pull a few from here and then we'll keep it going. I pulled out a few different decks, so we shall see what pops up. We shall see. I saw the higher power card when I was shuffling. I also saw travel. Saw luck. Alright. Alright, what we got? Secrets. excuse me. It's on the bottom of the deck and it's in the reverse. Interesting. It says moving in silence, hidden factors, lack of communication, not having all the facts. So something might have been revealed recently, or is going to be revealed in the near future that might kind of prompt you when it comes to pushing you forward, when it comes to, doing what it is that you're trying to do to work on your overall happiness. Because apparently that's going to be like the bigger theme of this. Um, I'm getting maybe somebody like had a revelation of, somebody who was like not being truthful in their energy or something like that, which might have, prompted you to want to make some changes in your life and kind of maybe distance yourself or remove certain people from your energy and your space. I'm getting something like that. Um, Tell us more. Tell us more. All right, what we got? We have two cards. Ooh, I like these. Well, one of them. But see, there's this, like I said, there's like this back and forth energy. It's like a juxtaposition. And I just got a message, so I'm gonna read these, and then I'll tell you what I just picked up on. Um, we have celebration, parties, social events, happy outcome, group events, socializing, and going out more is here, which I like. But then it came out with sad news, disappointing message, not what you wanted to hear, something not in your favor, and inconvenient truth. So what I'm picking up from that is kind of getting like your higher self is saying like this is a time to start celebrating the different like victories and stuff in your life. It's easy to sometimes, kind of go back to like, I heard the word regression, like regressing back to like, our old selves, right? I'm gonna say our because I feel like I resonate with this part of the message. um there could be all these great things going on in life, and then like you're still focusing on the things that are not so great. And it's like, focus on the things that are good. Focus on that is a part of the happiness that your higher self wants you to kind of really dive into and dig deeper into, versus the things that are not so great, right? We all have different things going on in our lives where we're like, oh, this could be better, that could be better, oh, why is this happening this way, woe is me. It's like, how about focusing on, the things that are positive versus the things that are, not necessarily where you want to be. Appreciate where you are and how far you've come. We have karmic justice on the bottom of the deck. Wrongs made right, you will be vindicated. Getting what you deserve and learning karmic lessons. So, maybe you're focusing too much on like, you know, the coulda, woulda, shoulda. Like, oh, if I would have done this differently, then that wouldn't have happened. Like, no, focus on, how you've persevered, right? The things that you've done to, push forward versus the things that, might have been holding you back at one point. I'm getting something along those lines. Let me know if that resonates with any of you. If you're resonating with the message, hit that like button. If you're new to the channel and you're resonating, subscribe. I greatly appreciate that. Tell us more. Let's get let's get like 4 more from here. Okay, so I just wanted to kind of get like an overall energy of what's going on with you guys. Yeah, see, the cards are like coming out in twos, and then on top of them coming out in twos, like the energy is so like polar opposites almost. We have soulmates here, and it says harmonious partnership, a powerful love, soul family in groups, and a bond that helps you grow is here. And it came out along with ghosting, sudden disappearing acts, cutting off all communication, feeling rejected, dealing with a lack of closure is here. Those came out together, so it's almost like, there's certain relationships that had to kind of come to an end in order to bring in something that's more harmonious, making room for the things that are more positive. Um, the more that you're opening up your heart and your energetic field for the positive things to come in, that's when those things start to come in. You attract that, and it might feel very different, which will explain why there's like this back and forth energy within yourself. It's a little bit confusing, right? It's like, okay, you have alien here on the bottom of the deck. It says feeling alienated in life, feeling like you don't fit in, dealings with a foreigner, and new experiences in life. So let's say there's this different energy going on for you where it's like, wow, I don't know what it feels like to be in positive relationships, or to have all these good things happening in my life. Like, it's always chaos. I don't know how to be calm and just allow for that flow of positive energy to pour in. If Let me know if that makes sense, because I know what that feels like. I've been there. So, like, I looked up, it's 11:11 when I said that, and we did see the karmic justice card. There's this, some of you might have Libra in your chart, but it's this energy of just like trying to understand how to find that balance, right? Being that, if you've been that person who's had a hard time with making positive connections and things like that, this could be very foreign for you. Even the connection within self, that more positive energy that you're trying to kind of seek within self, even, is what I'm kind of picking up on. I saw this card while I was shuffling. It says luck, good fortune, positive change, fulfilled wishes, and unexpected happiness. And we saw the happiness card pop up earlier. So I'm hoping that this is making sense and resonating with you guys. We have the moon here in the middle of the deck. Listen to your intuition, intense emotions, deception, hidden truth. Proceed with caution. So perhaps, some of the things that you've been through, it makes it like, where you have become a little bit worrisome or fearful of what is to come, because you don't know what different relationships in your life might, you know, bring to the table. Especially if you've, been the type of person where, you overpour and overextend, and then, you kind of feel like you got shitted on. You know what I mean? Like, when things don't work out in your favor. Throat chakra closing up, as I said that. So I'm getting some people who might have a hard time with communication, speaking up when it's time to speak up for self. Let me know if that resonates. Let's get like two more from here. You might be seeing the number 2 a lot. Like 222, or other variations of it too, like 444. I just saw, excuse me, 2424, 4242. I'm seeing like a lot of like angel numbers and like mirrored numbers. Let me know if that resonates. Yeah, see, the cards are coming out in twos. All the cards that came out so far came out in groups. All right, so the cards that came out together, we have the waiting game. Waiting for something or someone, expecting to hear news, putting your life on hold, prepared, ready, and waiting. So I feel like the wait is over. Now it's just a time to take that leap into the things that, your higher self is saying it's time to pursue these different things. It's time to pursue this sense of happiness within yourself. Stepping stone. Taking one step at a time. Don't rush the journey. Gradual building on success and the start of something bigger. So all the things that have happened, in the past, whether it's like super recent or, even things like from the distant past, these are things that were meant to kind of help build upon this greater sense of self. And that's what your higher self is trying to kind of convey here so far. Let's get one more. Hopefully that makes sense. Like I said, the wait is over. This is definitely a time to really like step into your power and go towards the things that, make you happier. Third party. So there might have been things that were causing, blockages that could have contributed to why you feel like you, or have felt like you couldn't like go towards this this version of yourself, your higher self, your happier self. Others interfering in your business. I know how that goes. Possible love triangle. Too many people involved. Someone is watching you. So it could be people like with their opinions and things like that. Always got something to say, and then making you feel like, oh, well, maybe I shouldn't do that. So on and so forth. For those of you, this is more like a love thing. This person could have put you in third party connections and things like that, and it could have contributed. We do see like soulmate ghosting and all this stuff, sad news. Like, it's going to be different for everybody. So, take the messages as they resonate. But like for some of you, if like this is kind of connected to your love life in any way, you know, you might have had to learn some really tough lessons to get to this point. And regardless of anything, at the end of the day, whatever your circumstances are, they are letting you know. They meaning all of you guys when it comes to your higher self, and your spirit guides and stuff as well, because you're definitely like tapped in right now. Um, just not allowing anything that's outside of yourself to interfere with what it is that you're doing, right? And I mean, even like things that are, a little more internalized too, right? The ways that we talk to ourselves and think, our self-talk, our inner thoughts and things like that. Those all contribute to our overall, growth and happiness, evolution, right? Yeah, look, good health here on the bottom of the deck. Thank you, Spirit. Changing nutrition habits, setting up a workout program, work-life balance, routine checkups at the doctor. So you guys are really working on, remember I said something about that inner work, really doing like some deep work on yourself at this time. All of a sudden I like kind of got like shortness of breath when I said all of that. It's like a lot going on there. I'm not sure if any of you guys have had like breathing problems in the past, but like I'm getting that maybe this is a time for you guys to have a wellness checkup when it comes to stuff like that. Um, I'm also getting uh, stuff with the heart itself, like if you have anything going on with heart health kind of things, if things run in the family, so on and so forth. Just a tidbit about my own personal life, because I do tend to share my own personal experiences and stuff on here. um, Heart issues run in my family like a lot on both sides. And I myself have I do have like high blood pressure and high cholesterol. I take medication for it and stuff. I almost had a heart attack a few years ago. So I lost my cousin last week to a heart attack and a stroke. So I don't know if that message is primarily for me, but it could be for some of you guys too, that message there on the bottom. So some of you guys really should probably look into like a wellness checkup. I'm picking up on. Yeah, because some of you guys might be really stressed out. You got burnout here on the top of the deck. So yeah, just be mindful of that, okay? Having too many irons in the fire, not taking care of yourself. See, you got good health. See what I'm talking about with juxtapositions here? You got good health, and then you have burnout on the top of the deck. Very, very polar opposite type cards, right? Not taking care of yourself, lack of control, and all work and no life. So some of you guys maybe the third party for some of you might be overworking. Let me know if that resonates. So with that said, just an overall vibe of taking better care of oneself is what I'm picking up on there too. And some of you guys, this seems very specific, so this is not going to resonate with everybody, but take it if it does. Some of you guys have been wanting to work on having a baby. That's not going to be for everybody, but for those of you who it is for, they're letting you know a wellness checkup and keeping up with wellness checkups is going to be very important if you want to have a baby. For other people, it's more so just saying that you're giving birth to this new version of yourself. And the way that you're going to be able to do that is by making sure that you are taking good care of yourself, your overall physical well-being, across the board, right? Making sure that your energy is intact in all those different areas. Let's get one more from here. I know that was supposed to be the last card, but let's get one more. I feel drawn to pull one more. as these messages come out, let me know if they resonate by reacting, hitting that like button. I do see Margaret is here, and Lashonda is here as well. Welcome, guys. Welcome. And I did miss a name, and I hope I don't say it wrong. Pakuku? Pakuku? Something along those lines. And I hope I didn't butcher it. I do apologize if I did. We have good news. See, there's a reason why I felt drawn to pull another card. So we had sad news, right? Yeah, sad news was one of the first cards, and then we have good news, right? As I asked for one more card from this deck. Messages, texts, phone call. Someone has something to say. Remember, I was saying something about that throat chakra. Needing to communicate clearly, and be open to listening. So I was definitely picking up on something about throat chakra energy earlier, because my throat chakra started acting all weird, and I was like, whoa, what the heck is that about? um, this is going to probably be kind of specific for somebody, but somebody might have some type of business venture or something that they're working on, and you know, you might have kind of felt like, I don't know if I want to do that anymore. Spirit is guiding you to work on that. I'm getting something along those lines, or you might be getting good news when it comes to a new job opportunity. Yeah, and again, this is coming after a period of feeling burnt out. Okay, so there's something new coming in though when it comes to like finances and success, career, that kind of thing. You know, and this might be after a period of, you know, things being a little bit slow in that department of your life. Let me know that resonates with any of you. Some of you might be having to travel in order to pursue whatever this is. And it says local travel, mini local vacation, getting out more, romantic weekend getaway. I like that. And having to drive more. For some of you, because I'm picking up on mostly with these cards and how they're coming out. Excuse me. I'm getting that this is going to be about something about like a job or something. And for some of you, you might have to like either travel a little bit for like the training, or you're going to have to drive a little bit more and commute for wherever it's located. Something along those lines. Congratulations in advance if that is the case for any of you. Let's see. All right, let's pull some tarot. One second. This is just like super loud. That's better. Like the songs get louder as they go on, which is like, what the heck? All right, so yeah, definitely in your heads a lot with this Nine of Swords. Really taking time to yourself with the Hermit here on the bottom of the deck. Doing a little bit of deep inner work and isolating yourself. Some of you guys might be like really spending a lot of time at home, and that could be why like I was getting up, like we kind of saw it earlier, like this energy of like you just kind of, you go home, you don't really do anything. It's like you work, go home, work, go home. Let me know if that resonates. But they're letting you know, like, you know, isolation is not necessarily a bad thing, but when it starts to kind of affect your mental health, especially those of us who have like seasonal depression and stuff like that, we are approaching quicker than we think. We're approaching yeah, see the death card. We're approaching fall, which means we're also going to be approaching winter a lot quicker and sooner than we think, right? So let's be mindful. I'm gonna say let's, meaning us. Let's be mindful that, you know, we don't want to do too much of that, right? Make sure we're hanging out with our friends, talking to our friends and family, things like that. You know, not focusing too much on just work, right? Work-life balance is definitely important. Knight of Cups. Romance might be also important for some of you. You might be getting like a romantic gesture or offer coming your way soon with this Knight of Cups. I'm also kind of getting like pouring into your own cup. I heard the word vanity, and not in a bad way, because sometimes people think of vanity meaning like vain. But in this case, I think it's more like just like pouring into your own like self-love, self-care cup, like, you know, doing nice things for yourself, getting your hair done, getting your nails done, If you're a guy, go get your shape up and, getting the beard all, moistened and all that, like get a little facial, like, massage, like that type of stuff. Doing something nice for yourself, pouring into that cup, doing something that, allows you to feel good. You earn it, right? Do something with that money that you make other than just paying bills all the time, right? Do something like nice for you. Um, for the tarot portion, I think I'm gonna just do like a little like 4 cards, but I'm not gonna do too much with this. Actually, I take it back. All right, let's get like the overall energy first. We're gonna do like a 6 card spread for this part. What's the overall energy for the collective when it comes to what we're seeing so far? What do they need to know when it comes to their higher self? Where is most accurate? The High Priestess, I like that. Okay. Some of you guys might be spiritually gifted as well. I mean, technically, we all are. Um, some of you guys might actually like be trying to work on like utilizing those gifts more. Um, I'm getting people who are very highly intuitive. There's also like this inner knowing about something. Maybe just knowing that you're things that you know that you want to work on and do differently. You're just kind of working hard towards that, diving a little bit deeper. Yeah, we got this justice card, right? There's this learning curve I just kind of got. A learning curve when it comes to what it is that you need to learn. Um, Interestingly enough, um, justice is like the number 11. When I had looked up initially, it was 5 people in here and 6 likes, which adds up to 11. So we might be seeing 11 a lot. Um, and I did mention earlier, some of you might have Libra in your chart. Yes, Eva. It's here again. This Knight of Cups, 4 of Pentacles in the middle of the deck. So there could be like something that you guys have to kind of let go of, and you need to let go of it, and that's going to be kind of your way of pouring into yourself. The more that you hold on to those things, the harder it is to kind of balance that scale, right? And this is a time of, if you're working on your happiness, you're also working on your dharma, right? Your good karma that's coming towards you, the stuff that you've worked really hard at for a long time. So this is definitely a time for you to, kind of, find that focus, right? Looking deeper within yourself, understanding what these lessons are that you're being taught, and what to do with those lessons from there on out. If that makes any sense. Tell us more. If these messages are resonating, let me know in the comment section. React. Hit the like button if you haven't done so already. If you're new, hit that subscribe button as well. Make it worth my while to be up here. There's a card that flipped. What is it? Huh, nice. We have the Ace of Wands here. I like that. That's a nice card. So that is about passionate new beginnings. It could be pertaining to, it could be pertaining to business ventures or creative ideas. It could also be like passionate new beginnings in love. Take it as it resonates. Ooh, and then we have the 4 of Wands on the bottom of the deck. So for some of you, it could be love. It could also just be like more solid foundation in different areas of your life. Things that you're really passionate about. Yeah, and this is coming after a period of the Tower, right? So, things could have went to shit, and, life be lifing, right? And, things get shaken up, that ground gets shaken up, and then, I just heard the word rubble. All that rubble that's there at the bottom of everything, right? At the base of your feet. You have to be the one to decide, what am I going to bring with me into this next phase of life? Because not everything's meant to go with you, right? And every time I say that little analogy, I also hear Bag Lady by Erykah Badu. And, one of the lines in the song is pack light. So it's like, pack light, not bringing so much baggage with you, right? Like these towers happen in our lives in order for us to be able to kind of, have a lighter load to bring with us into the next phase of our lives. The next, it's her to just chill to the next episode. Jay and Snoop. Some of you guys might like West Coast rap. Let me know if that resonates. But yeah, so I'm getting something along those lines, right? Just, letting go a little bit, not holding on to so much stuff as you move into the new era of your life, new phase. Yeah. Five of Pentacles, feeling like left out in the cold. A lot of hardships. You guys been through a lot in this recent past, but there's a lot of brand new things getting ready to come through that are going to allow for a lot of stability. And the thing is, it's like it's been a long time coming. But yeah, money is about to look better. Just overall happiness. You're going to be working hard. Some of you guys might be having a lot of changes in your love life as well. Tell us more. What else does the collective need to know at this time when it comes to their higher self? Messages from their higher self. Alright, so when it comes to like one of the challenges at this time, we have the Four of Cups here. So the challenge is kind of just this energy of, complacency or just dissatisfaction. Kind of like, whatever, you know what I mean? Very just whatever. Like I said, just whatever about a lot of things. Um, But with that being like the challenge, it's like I think spirit also is like letting you know, like, okay, we have the Knight of Swords on the bottom of the deck. Let me just explain where I'm going with this, what I'm feeling. Yeah, Nine of Wands. I was gonna say Knight of Wands. That's not the card. It's the Eight of Wands. But I don't know why my mind's eye, like literally saw the Knight of Wands, even though it's not what the card was. And we have Nine of Wands here. So it's like your guard is up, right? You're very protective of yourself and of your energy. But the thing is, it's like sometimes when we hold on to, resentments and things like that, or, old ways of thinking, old patterns, and so on and so forth, we become not just complacent, but we also kind of I won't even use the word miss opportunities, but we don't even realize certain opportunities and things that are happening in our lives because we're so focused on the things that are not working that we forget that there are great things getting to come through or are currently happening. So that's what this cup here is, right? That's the hand of the Most High presenting you with something, but here you are focused on these three cups down here that don't have shit in them, right? You're just like, life sucks, you know what I mean? Fuck this shit. And it's like, they're like, well, the only way you're going to really move forward and move on, right, upward and onward from those kind of circumstances is if you appreciate where you are now and how far you've come. Remember, we were talking about stepping stones, right? The things that happen in our lives that, contribute to where we're headed. Even if it doesn't all make sense right now in the moment, these are the things that are going to contribute to that elevation, right? That progression. Hope that makes sense. All right, tell us more. All right. And I'm not going to take any of those because none of them actually flipped. They fell, but they did not flip. The only card that actually came out upward was the Tower. And we talked about the Tower just a second ago. So Spirit is saying, and your higher self is saying, basically, when it comes to how to overcome this challenge, you have to, again, you got to pick up the pieces, right? Pick up the pieces that are meant to go along with you. Those stepping stones that are meant to, help you elevate and become your higher self. That was like a perfect little segue into that card because, I didn't know that's what was going to come out, but I just felt like, wording it that way, and there we go. Spirit's like kind of confirming, your higher self is confirming, yeah, that's exactly what it is. It's time for you to take that leadership role in your life. This King of Wands here, take that leadership role in your life, and be the one that kind of takes that control to be able to have things happen in your favor. Taking the reins on your own life. not like letting things only be by chance and stuff like that, you know. Nothing wrong with, you know, praying and, you know, things like that, you know. But this is also a time to kind of, you know, put your feet to the ground and, you know, make things happen, make those moves, right? Networking might be a way that you can do that for some of you. Three of Pentacles is here, teamwork, working with other people in order to make things happen. I'm also getting that for some of you there could have been partnerships that were the tower moment that contributed to where you are currently, and that might be the reason why you kind of feel a little bit, you know, apprehensive about, you know, pursuing other relationships in your life, not just romantically but in different areas, work related, family, friends, so on and so forth. Take it as it resonates and leave it if it doesn't, but something along those lines. So I'm getting those two messages there. But yeah, we have the Temperance in the middle of the deck. So that's about finding a sense of peace, harmony, and balance. Um, so making sure that, you know, after this period of, you know, the Tower, you know, the things that have kind of fallen apart and, you know, when life has, you know, kind of shaken itself up and now you're left with all these pieces. You're like, what the fuck is this? And what am I supposed to do? How do I rebuild here? Just understand that, make sure that whatever you do bring with you is something that's going to allow you to be in a place of peace. Don't bring things with you that are going to bring you down and, you know, help make you repeat old patterns and behaviors and cycles. Hope that makes sense. Tell us more. More messages from the higher self. Thank you. Ooh, okay. Two cards that came out, and I like this energy here because the question that I was asking in my head was, what's going on behind the scenes, right? So what's going on behind the scenes is what they want you to do is this. Your higher self is saying they want you to stand on fucking business with this Queen of Wands. Um, Very confident, right? Somebody who is, you know, they know what they want. You know, they take that shit very seriously, and they, you know, they're, you know, a go get 'em kind of person, a business owner in some cases, but really about their business just in general. Excuse me. And it came out as I'm about to, you know, talk about the Queen of Swords. I'm up here like burping. That's that throat chakra energy we were talking about earlier. The Queen of Swords is very, very assertive as well, and she does not fucking play. She will cut your head off, clean the fuck off, if you ever overstep. Okay, so you know she don't play. She will tell you exactly, like I said, she will tell you exactly what you need to know and what you need to hear, because she's confident, just like that Queen of Wands, but she also has a, you know, a very sharp tongue, and she will cut you down if she needs to. That's because she's very discerning. She knows the energy that she wants around her, and she knows the energy that she doesn't like. Yeah, she knows what she wants and she knows what she doesn't want, and she stands on that. So those two energies coming out together, those two queens, yeah, those are not the ones to fuck with. Okay, so it's like, you know, they're letting you know, like, be very, very clear and concise. I just heard clear and concise about what it is that needs to be said, and be confident in that. I'm getting some of you guys might have been people pleasers in your life at some point or another. Maybe still are sometimes. I know I can resonate with that. And it's okay to be very, very concrete about what it is that, you know, what your boundaries are, right? Making sure that people don't cross those boundaries. So the more assertive that you are, the better, because knowing exactly what needs to be said and delivering that message, that's top notch right there. Yep. And this is gonna be different. Remember I was talking about, you know, we saw that alien card earlier, which is like something that's like kind of foreign and different and new, something that you're not used to. The Fool is here. Same energy, right? Taking that leap of faith into something unknown and new that is like, I just heard the word forbidden. Like it might feel forbidden a little bit. Like I can talk to people like that. I can that me, like I can tell people no. Like, yes, you can. No is a complete sentence. Don't let anybody else tell you otherwise. because we have the death card here as well, which is about death and rebirth. It's about, major transformations, and this is what's happening for you guys right now. You're really, really transforming and becoming a different version of yourself, and that's what your higher self wants you to continue to work on. You have Three of Cups here. For some of you, it could be something about your own friends that it's hard for you to be able to, like, maybe say no or communicate, and they're letting you know, well, if that is the case, if that resonates, being able to be communicative and say, look, I don't feel comfortable with X, Y, and Z. Set those healthy boundaries. And, at the end of the day, people who don't accept your boundaries or understand them, those are the people that will kind of just fall off on their own. It's almost like the garbage taking itself out. I'm not trying to be mean or funny, I'm just being honest. So, again, take the messages as they resonate. This is your higher self speaking. So, what's the advice from the tarot portion anyway? Because I have other cards that I'm going to pull from as well. What's the advice from the higher self at this time? I hope you guys are enjoying this message. I hope it's resonating. Yep, see, look. See? The advice, it's that King of, we have the King and Queen of Swords here, right? That logic, right? Being able to not act so much on emotions. And you guys might be that kind of person who acts on emotion a lot. And I know that I can be that person myself. So, it's not an attack. You know what I mean? But yeah, your higher self is saying this is a time to, kind of, get out of the emotions and allow yourself to be more, again, discerning and more concrete. Versus, and logical as well, versus acting on emotion and things like that. Don't let those fears and anxieties hold you back from this version of yourself, because we had the moon here twice, same kind of energy. That fear can definitely, here it's going. Sorry. Woo. Yeah, that's a message. All right, so Spirit definitely wanted me to, your higher self wanted me to make sure that was really reiterated and pointed out, because they're like, look, fucked off. This is the time. Yeah. And being able to speak up and, really standing your power in that way brings a lot of different blessings. Ace of Pentacles. For some of you, this is more about like your career and finances, like you got to talk to a boss or something like that, or you got to be very assertive about, a benefits package at a job or something, you know what I mean? That type of stuff. They're like, listen, the more concrete you are and you set those boundaries and you say exactly what needs to be said, that's when you're going to see things come in. So, yeah. So don't go losing sleep over shit. Don't sleep on it. Like, if you know that there's something that you need to say it. Take those opportunities when those opportunities present themselves. And we did see the Knight of Swords earlier too, which is all about seizing an opportunity. So there you go. Let's get one more card from this deck. And we're gonna pull maybe one or two cards from the other decks that I have out, and that'll be the end of the reading. I'm not sure I'm gonna pull from all the decks I have here. We'll see. As long as you guys are enjoying the reading and getting something out of it, then I'll keep on going. But yeah, we'll see. 43, and I said that adds up to 7. Might be seeing the number 7 a lot. As I say 7, look. Options. There are a lot of different opportunities getting ready to present themselves to you. And I'm asking, like, what's kind of like, the outlook here, like what does the collective need to know? They're like, there's so many options that are going to present themselves to you, but you have to be discerning, and you also have to be concrete. So the more discerning you are when it comes to these things, and the more willing you are to be able to speak up for yourself and speak your truth, use your voice, that's when you'll see a lot of things happening. And like I said, it could have something to do with friends. I'm also getting that there could be just something that's going to be celebrated, because we did see celebration earlier. Ooh, look at that. Yeah, leveling up, baby. Okay. The Empress. That is like the most valuable card in the deck for the female energy anyway. And then it'll be the Emperor after that. But like, yeah. Okay, I see y'all leveling up and shit. Yeah, walking away from the things that no longer serve you. Thank you, Spirit. Thank you, higher self. Eight of Cups, walking away from things that don't work for you. So, there will be opportunities presenting themselves, and you have to use your discernment to be able to say, okay, these are the things that I do not want in my energy. These are the things I'm walking away from. So, you just have to be able to know what's what. And, I'm pretty sure that you guys are more than capable of being able to figure those things out for yourself. So definitely just use your discernment here when it comes to that type of energy. I think I feel drawn to this deck next. Hey Tommy, how are you? Nice to see your name popping up in here. I'm really grateful for those of you who are here currently. If you haven't done so already, hit that like button. All that good stuff. Send some reactions and continue to communicate in here, because I am always grateful to see you guys here, intermingling with each other and all that. It's always nice. We're building a little tribe here of, our collective. Love that. um, I'm good overall. Got some family stuff going on. I got a passing in my family last week, but um, other than that, I would say I'm doing pretty good. I just started my main job back up. I work at a school, so kind of ready to really seize the day when it comes to this new school year and all of that, which is always nice. Love my little kiddos. So bottom of the deck we have sacred inner space, sacral chakra, tenderness and sensuality. Nice, nice. Thank you, I appreciate that. So yeah, working on that sacral chakra, which is giving me like creativity. Any of you guys who have been, all right, I'm getting like a bunch of downloads all at once. Okay, so I'm gonna give you guys what I'm picking up on. One of the downloads that I picked up on is some of you guys really do have like this creative energy within yourself, like this surge of energy, and they're like, yes, this is a time to really hone in on that and do something with it, because the more that you allow yourself to be expressive, that's going to definitely contribute to your overall like happiness, like your state of wellness, right? um Now this is where it gets a little funny. It's not really funny, but it's like, ooh, clutch your pearls a little bit. Some of you guys might need to get laid. Just saying. This might be. Just saying. This is what your higher self is saying. But I also am getting some people might be celibate, and if you're experiencing, like I said, these are different downloads coming through, so it's gonna be different for everybody. So bear with me. Take the messages as they resonate. But for some of you, let's say you're celibate, right? And you are having, the surge of sexual appetite, so to speak. You can transmute that energy into a creative outlet, like working out, which doesn't necessarily sound like creative, but that's a good way to, transmute that type of energy. Creative ideas, if you paint or write poetry or songs, things like that, so on and so forth. If you have a creative business venture that you wanted to, kind of dive into, that could be a great way to transmute. So, maybe getting your sacral chakra balanced would be good. Some women might benefit from twerking at home, little, opening up the hips and all of that stuff, wind it up a little bit. Yeah, so different things like that. I know it sounds kind of crazy, but sacral chakra energy is showing up, and I'm just saying this is what your higher self is letting me to tell you guys. So let's get like maybe 2 cards from here. Like I said, I have a few decks that I wanted to pull from that I think have really great messages. Wow. I'm going to take all of these because they all flipped. They flew and they flipped. So, excuse me. So I'm going to take them. Was it 4? Looks like 4. All right. So we have Soul Star Activation, fulfilling soul contracts, remembering who you are, which is very interesting because we're saying we were talking about karma, we were talking about karmic justice and things like that. We were talking about the justice card, so it's kind of giving me that kind of vibe. It's like, okay, you've done what was necessary, and now my phone just went off at the same time. You guys probably heard it. So there's this completion, right, of something that needed to be closed out, and now that you get to close that out, there's going to be a little bit of maybe mourning that has to happen with it and things like that. But this is definitely a stepping stone necessary for you to work on becoming your highest self. It came out along with crystal skull wisdom, clarity, divine healing, high vibrational energy. So you guys are vibrating at a very higher place than you were before because of the clarity and knowledge that you've gained from these experiences as you closed out these different cycles, right? We have, yeah, see, look at this. These cards came out together like that for a reason. Akashic Stargate, aligned with purpose, crossroads, no wrong path. So right now, it's almost like, the world is your oyster. Like, you can really do no wrong at this point. Like, you've learned the lessons that were needed to be learned, and you have so much more discernment now because of those experiences, that now you get to, really become more aligned with your higher self and your purpose, where you're meant to go. And for a lot of you guys, this is going to contribute in some kind of way when it comes to your career path as well. I feel like they're very tied in together. For some reason, I just keep picking up on that. Let me know if it makes any sense. Wow, look at this. Pause of a mentee initiation. It says secrets revealed, treasures uncovered, and initiations. This was in the reverse technically, so that means there's a lot of focus on that. So there was something, and I said this before, this inner knowledge, this inner knowing, and the reason why I said that was because there literally was a card that said secrets on it in the first deck, and then we had High Priestess, which could also represent something about like secrets or inner knowledge and things like that. So there was something that needed to be revealed in order for you to get to this point. And it's going to be different for everybody, but you'll be able to kind of use your discernment here and kind of know what that means in this context. Sacred inner spaces here again about the sacral chakra. And I'm happy that Tommy, I'm happy that you're resonating with this message. We have Emerald Tablet Activation here on the top of the deck. It says Cosmic Ordering, Divine Alchemy, and I was talking about alchemizing, right? I was talking about transmuting energy before, and conscious manifesting. Thank you. So taking these learning experiences, right, and being able to manifest and alchemize, transmuting the energy. Middle of the deck we have Order of Melchizedek. Embraced by light, mission uncovered, don't give up. You're in the middle of the deck. So again, all this stuff has happened in the way that it's supposed to, all in divine order, right? The way that it's meant to happen in order for you to step into this higher version of yourself. There's a reason why I felt so guided to do this reading tonight. Like, I haven't felt guided to do this type of reading in months. But something just told me, like, tonight's the night. So fun fact about this deck, those of you who know, because you've been here for a while, you kind of know the story already, but this deck here, the Guiding Light deck, anytime I pull this deck out, it kind of gives me, like, we're going to also be getting messages possibly from past on, like, loved ones and ancestors and stuff. And the reason why I say that is because I have a feather here that manifested in my home from my grandfather, in normal lighting is things like pure white. I was home one day and I went to the bathroom. I came back randomly. There's just a feather on the couch, like just there. And I'm like, I don't have like like, anything that would have feathers in it. So how the hell does a pristine, perfectly white feather just end up on the couch? And my girl, I don't know if she's still here, but Allie, she she's an amazing reader and channeler and a medium and all that. And she was like, "That was your grandfather who left that." And I was like, "What? Really?" Because like I know that feathers can mean something, and I was just like, "Holy shit!" Yeah, my grandfather left that for me. She was like, "Yeah, he's a light skinned, nice looking guy." I was like older guy, obviously, but I was like, okay. Well, my other grandfather was more like probably my color, and then my other grandfather was light skinned, and I'm like the Cape Verdean one, and I'm like, okay, Grandpa Lawrence. So when I read from this, it's very special to me, and there's usually really good messages that come up from here. So we're gonna see what comes out and see what Spirit has to say. All right. What does Spirit have to say? What does the collective's higher self have to say too? And any other messages could be from ancestors or something. We shall see. We're all connected. I just heard intergalactic. All right. Bottom of the deck we have heart opening. Someone you know, it may even be you, is withholding love and creating a very emotionally painful experience for everyone involved. So that heart chakra needs a little bit of work. Ironically enough, Queen just happened to put green hearts in the in the chat, and green hearts is well, green in general represents the heart chakra. So it's just kind of interesting how we're talking about this card coming up, and it's talking about the heart chakra, and she literally, before this card even got pulled or seen, she just posted that. So that's quite interesting, and I know she's very connected herself. So this is kind of interesting. So just gonna pull like two from here. All right. So two from here. I'm grateful for you guys for tapping in and sticking around. Really appreciate you guys. All right, so we have, you also might be seeing the number 5 a lot. Healing cocoon of light. Your angels come to you now and surround you in a healing cocoon made of light. Love that. Um, so this is definitely a time of healing. Your higher self is definitely letting you know that there's going to have to be some changes to be made when it comes to that opening up that heart chakra in particular. And just understand that, like, it's okay to, have like some apprehensions and things like that and be a little bit scared, to, open up, whether it's romantically or whatever. It doesn't necessarily have to be romantic, but just in general, right? Even making friendships, right? Or like, let's say, it could be family, you have like a little bit of a complicated relationship with a family member, and then, you know, maybe they try to come back around and want to work on the relationship and reconcile, or vice versa. I'm getting parent wounds for somebody. That seems very specific, but I just heard parent wound. So for somebody, it could have to do with a parent, whether they want to work on the relationship or you want to work on the relationship. But being able to be open to that change, and um, being able to, open up a little bit when it comes to that. Um, Listening to what somebody has to say, and or being able to be vocal about what needs to be said, right? I'm getting something along those lines. Let's get one more from here. Synergy. Blending together all of your talents helps you to create an energy signature that holds within your authentic creative expression. Now that goes back to that Ace of Wands card that we were talking about earlier, and I was saying that some of you guys need a creative outlet. So there's that confirmation there too. Bottom of the deck we have false assumptions. You might be seeing the number 58 a lot, or the number 13 a lot. We have false assumptions. It says this is simply a misunderstanding. Let go of the need to be right. Interesting. So communication is key, right? Um, but yeah, it's very interesting because there was 5 people and 8 likes a second ago, and the number on here is 58. That's why I said somebody might be seeing the number 58 a lot or the number 13. Um, Top of the deck, we have energy protection. Um, your belief that you are not safe may be inviting an energy that is throwing you off balance. Exactly, and that's going back to like that heart chakra, right? Like you might want to like keep that wall built up. Excuse me, that wall built up so that way, you're protecting yourself. But sometimes it's okay to let that down just a little bit, you know. If people show they ass, then you close that shit back up. But allow people to at least have the capacity to be able to be in your space and your energy, rather than just shutting everybody out. And I know it's easier said than done because I definitely struggle with that myself. But I think even for myself, I can say, yeah, spirit is definitely saying, and higher self is saying, let your guard down just a tad. Hey Monique. Yeah, I cut my hair again. Third time's a charm. Yeah, I've been around this road so many times. People always like, why you keep cutting your damn hair? I'm like, this is what I do. I get bored or whatever, and I'm like, cut, 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 cut. But on this case, I did it because I had heat damage and I want to start locks. So I'm gonna grow it out a little bit, and then I'm gonna start locks again. And yeah, because like I had locks that were down to my butt, and I cut those off. People were like, "Oh my god, you cut off all your hair!" Like I get scissor happy and just cut the shit off. I'm like, "Fuck it, it grows back." Middle of the deck, we have Heart of Compassion. There are many people around you now who benefit from your loving, compassionate heart. Yeah, it's time to open up a little bit. Thank you, thank you. Yeah, everybody still says to this day, like, yo, your locks were so dope. Like, that is your look. I'm like, thank you, thank you. I've done it all. I've done it all when it comes to hair. So like I'm very brave with that. That's probably the only thing I'm really brave with is my hair. Everything else I'm like, oh no, I don't know if I want to do that. I'm so scared. But cut my hair 50 million times. But or do different things all the time. But yeah, that Heart of Compassion card. Yeah, like the thing is, you guys have such a healing energy and a giving heart. Very loving people, but it's very hard sometimes, and I get it. Because sometimes we attract people with our types of hearts. Because I'm definitely getting like empaths and stuff like that. Folks who want to be there for everybody and want to just be this loving person, but that not everybody's deserving of that, and we have to acknowledge that too, right? But it's also important to just know that aside from the idea or the fact that we can't be like that with everybody, we still have to be able to be discerning enough to know when people are deserving of it, our willingness to be loving and caring and generous, so on and so forth. I hope that makes sense. Right, exactly. You have to still protect your energy, right? Preserve your energy. Absolutely. All right. So we're gonna get 2 from this deck, and I'll pull from I think 2 more after this deck, and that will be it. I hope you guys have been enjoying this reading. Hope that you've been getting something out of it, because I definitely have been enjoying delivering this message to you guys, and I greatly appreciate all of you. All right, so we have Cosmic Womb, the Divine Feminine. I like that. Now, we were talking about giving birth earlier, right? To, new versions of self. I'm also getting... this is where things get weird with, like, being able to feel things. I just got, like, this weird, like, feeling in my... like my womb when I said that. Like I felt like a flutter. I'm not pregnant, far from it, but I felt what like those beginning, for those of us who are women or identify as a person with a womb. I'm trying to make sure I'm inclusive on my channel. Um, if you've ever been pregnant, that feeling of, those first little kicks, I just felt that. And like I said, I'm not pregnant, far from it. But I felt that just now. And I did say earlier, I don't know if anybody's pregnant or they're trying to get pregnant, so somebody might be having a baby soon. Just saying. But what I'm mostly getting from this card is, again, just like that energy of stepping into your divine feminine, like that empress, or you can, if you're a male, your emperor energy, right? Your highest self, and really, showing up and showing out in that way. I love to see that energy. Love to see that. I heard the word creation. Yeah, really like that primitive, like that primary, foundational part of being, if that makes any sense, right? Interesting. I did see birth earlier. I don't know. Somebody getting knocked up. Is somebody about to have a baby? It ain't me. Let's go for that. All right, we have Drifter here. Experiencing life as it comes. Yes, rolling with the punches. Oops. Rolling with the punches. Things happen in, divine timing when it's meant to happen. And, we don't really have control over those things, but we can control how we react to those moments. And being able to say, okay, well, I'm going to roll with the punches and take life as it comes. These stepping stones that are going to help me, go into the next phase of my life at this time. It's like a journey, right? Like the soul's journey at this time. Let's get one more from this deck. Repairing the veil, forgiveness. Okay, so Spirit wants you guys to really, and your higher self wants you to really work on practicing forgiveness too. Very important, I feel like, at this time, because I do feel like, as we've looked at a lot of the energy that's showing up, there's been people in our energy who we really cared about. Like we talked about the ghosting energy and stuff like that. People who, presented themselves in a certain way and then completely switched up and stuff like that. So this is definitely a time, and this is a part of the journey for you guys to practice forgiveness. Forgiveness for those who have trespassed against us, and forgiveness for ourselves too, when it comes to the things that we feel we've, allowed to happen, right? We have to take accountability for things. I'm going to say we, because I feel like I definitely resonate with this reading myself. The things that, we could have done differently, right? So on and so forth. It's not a blame game. It's about being able to say, okay, I could have done this differently. I could have handled this differently. So on and so forth. So being able to, understand that this is a part of the healing process, and this is a part of the healing journey as you continue to develop. I heard soul development. As your soul develops into what it's becoming, right? I'm telling you, guys, there's something about a baby. Okay, there's something about a baby, and there's something might happen in the winter time. I'm just saying, winter's dream, gestation period. What's gestation mean? It means pregnancy. So I'm just saying, but I did say this before, that I'm also picking up on mother wounds. So just saying. The crossing initiation is here on the top of the deck. You might be seeing the number 9 a lot too. Yeah. Interesting. Yeah, crossing over that bridge, right, into this new phase. I'm telling you, it's part of the journey. Wow. Some of these cards I've never seen before, and I've used this deck many times, but like that's how I know that there's like new energy in this reading too. Between like the people who end up watching and just the energy in and of itself. It's different. It's new. Wow. Yeah. I think I've only seen this card like one time since I've used this deck. Falling Angel, spiritual narcolepsy. So, your spirit might have been feeling a little bit dormant for a while, right? But, it's because you're kind of, you're learning, you're growing, you're expanding, learning these new lessons. My nose started going so crazy when it comes to itchiness, like the whole nose. Like 1 minute it's on this side, the next minute like this is. Usually, if it's the left side of my nose, it's like past energy, but it's been like the whole nose. So it's gonna be different for everybody. But I do feel like you guys have been like really, kind of in that phase lately, just kind of feeling dormant and just like, when are things going to get better? Feeling like you're stuck spiritually, and that's why your higher self is letting you know, look, this is definitely this period of time where there's about to be this rebirth of of yourself, right? Really learning, the lessons that have needed to be learned. And you might, when you hit that ground, it's gonna hurt. We talked about that tower and everything, right? Like, it's not gonna be this pretty, oh, everything's so great. Like, no, that's not what spiritual lessons look like, baby. Like, spiritual lessons are, they hit hard, but they are meant to help you elevate, right? And as I say elevate, look what I'm about to use here. Repair Elevation Growth deck here. I felt really drawn to these when I was like picking cards earlier, so definitely gonna read from here. We're gonna get a couple of cards from here, and then I'm gonna pull from maybe one more deck. I have 2 decks left over. I know I'm gonna pull from one more for sure, the Hard Truths deck, but I might pull from the Soul's Journey deck too. We'll see if you guys want me to. I'll pull from them. So yes, let's pull 2 cards from here. See what your higher self has to say from this deck. All right, see, look, that heart chakra, heart opening. Listen, opening your heart center and listening to your intuition. See how that throat chakra kind of acted up though? And remember, they're very, very much like next to each other. So if there's an imbalance here, there's probably an imbalance here. Just saying. Opening your heart center and listening to your intuition will always lead you in the right direction. You now have the opportunity to let down your walls you created from past wounds. Let your light shine from your heart to experience what the universe has always wanted for you. Wow. It really goes back to what we were just talking about, for sure. Letting your guard down a little bit. Easier said than done. Thank you, Queen, for moderating. I really appreciate you. But yeah, do what she said, guys. Hit that like button if you're resonating. Appreciate you guys. All right, let's get 2 from here. Sacrifice, reclaim. Your strength is needed to pull back your power and gain perspective of the situation. That's like that tower moment. If you actually look at the picture, I don't know how well you'll be able to see this, but like it looks like ruins, kind of. Sorry. Start over. Your strength is needed to pull back your power and gain perspective of the situation. You have gone through an emotional sacrifice for too long. It's time to it's time to claim, balance, and nurture yourself by standing in your power. I love when these messages come off full circle and shit. But you see how it looks like ruins almost? Painful sacrifices that were needed to get to this point. And you're going to have to still do a little bit of letting go, even after everything's said and done, in order to really, do what's best for you at this time, at this point of your journey. One more from here. I love this deck. This is a really good one. I love this. Did I not just say everything's coming full circle? Spirit ain't playing with y'all. Your higher self ain't playing either. Come on now. You have, I just got major goosebumps just now from that shit. Because I just said that. Those were my exact words, and then look what came up. That's crazy as hell. You have chosen to learn from your mistakes and move forward, closing out the cycle. Every layer of yourself you acknowledge is a layer that served its purpose. You are now feeling your power by seeing your inner strength and determination pay off. Be proud of this moment and let it carry you forward. Wow. Holy crap. That's wild. I literally said, I love when the readings start coming full circle and then I say that and then that's the card that comes out. That's crazy. New beginnings, intention. Yep, one door closes and another one opens, right? New doors are opening and new opportunities are here. You are shifting into a higher frequency by honoring yourself and your accomplishments. It's time for a fresh start. That's like that full energy and a clean slate. You are being asked to only bring your new self into this chapter, right? Exactly. Being mindful of what you bring into this next phase, right? That's what we were talking about before. Being very selective and discerning. Yeah, because, we have the stuck energy here, but you're getting out of that. Alignment. You have stuck energy that can be caused by holding on to, yep, the Four of Pentacles we saw earlier, holding on to pain or having resistance to let new energy flow in. Get grounded and reconnect to your body once again. Yep. Patience is needed. Timing. Be mindful not to rush or push your agenda at this time. Exactly. Trust in the divine timing unless is instant. Sorry. Trust in, okay, that's a typo there. Trust in divine timing and less in instant gratification. Having patience allows everything to unfold as it should. The seeds have been planted, now let them grow. I love that. That was that deck right now. That was powerful as hell. I'm gonna read now from the Hard Truths. I think this is gonna be the last deck I pull from. I'm not 100% sure. Even if it's not, like it's, I'm only gonna pull two from here and then maybe two from one more, and that'll be the end of the reading. But I do appreciate you guys for sticking around and being here. You guys are absolutely amazing. I'm very, very grateful. Grateful for all the positive energy you guys have been bringing to this reading with your words and your likes and all those different things that help support the channel. Your reactions, all of that stuff has been super helpful. It also lets me know that I'm connecting with you guys and that it's resonating. So those are always good things. Bottom of the deck, failure anxiety. Avoiding failure also means avoiding success. You're stuck. Yep, we talked about stuck energy before. You're stuck in planning mode and your potential is locked away. Success is achieved by trying. Yes. Time to put that, your best foot forward and actually go towards what it is that you want. Especially like for those of you who it's like, some type of venture, like a career venture or something like that, or creative venture, like they really want you guys to not, I just heard imposter syndrome too. You guys have the gifts and the talents and all of that, and the ideas to really make something great happen, but you have to put your best foot forward. And, this is a time to, really step out of your comfort zone and do what's necessary, right? Thanks, Tommy. I really appreciate that. And thank you, Queen. All right, so let's get a couple of cards from here. Ugh. Wow, didn't we talk about accountability earlier? Lack of accountability. Blaming external factors or other people for your problems is preventing you from taking constructive actions. Own your role to begin resolving your dilemma. There's a reason why I felt drawn to this deck. Because this one will put you in your place. Like, it doesn't sugarcoat things. It lets you know what you need to know, for real, for real. Because, like, I remember the first time I used this deck, I was like, okay, Spirit, y'all just want to hurt my little old feelings. Goddamn. Like, they was not playing with me. I was like, okay, bet. So I really like this deck. um, one more from your spirit. Higher self of the collective. Thank you. And lies. You're lying to yourself and those around you. There's a secret that we talked about secrets earlier. And that's that high priestess energy too. There's a secret that needs to emerge for true alignment to occur. So we got two things talking about alignment too in the same deck. So what I'm kind of getting here, guys, is you know how we were talking about there's something that needs to be revealed. I was like, either somebody needs to reveal something to you or you need to reveal something to someone. And I kept talking about the throat chakra. My throat chakra was acting real crazy in the beginning of the reading, if you guys remember. And I was like having a hard time getting words out. My like voice went away for a second and came back. I'm getting that you guys have been, all right, this is what I'm picking up on. I'm getting that you guys might have been having a really hard time with communication and saying something to somebody who's like super close to you or something like that, and you're kind of living like with a almost like a mask. You're not really being your authentic true self because maybe you're afraid of what somebody's reaction is going to be or something like that. You don't want to step on anyone's toes or ruffle feathers, that kind of thing. But the thing is, like, living like that is also causing you distress because you're not able to be your true authentic self. So you're holding on to something that feels uncomfortable, and there's something that needs to come out. You have to speak up. So if that, let me know if that resonates with any of you, but there's something that, is just not feeling it, not really happy. So it's time to, you gotta speak up, say what you need to say. My best John Mayer voice. Future self on the bottom of the deck. This decision will impact you. Sorry, impact who you become. Wow. Reflect on how your future self will view today's choices. Walk with the wisdom of the life you wish to live. Wisdom, right? That's very important. Lessons that have been learned or will continue to be learned. You gotta do what you gotta do for yourself. Self-preservation is what I'm getting. Yeah, grudge. Harboring hatred traps you in, yeah. You really gotta speak up because you're gonna start harboring like resentment and stuff towards somebody. Harboring hatred traps you in the past, anchoring you to old wounds and preventing progress. Let go with forgiveness. We talked about forgiveness earlier to break free from the cycle. So it's definitely something when it comes to like old feelings and wounds and stuff like that. And it's gonna be different for everybody. Somebody might have to speak to a parent about something. Somebody might have to speak to it, maybe a past like love connection, like have a sit down and maybe not even with them like actually, but maybe like write a Dear John letter and burn it. Somebody might have like what's that word? Like a soul tie or something like that. Hi Marwa, how are you? Welcome. um, so I'm getting something like that. It's gonna be different for everybody, so please take the messages as they resonate. Um, external influence. We saw that one before. I'll read it again though. Outside factors are heavily influencing your decisions. Consider who has your ear and ensure your choices are in line with your highest potential. So that card's important because it showed up twice. Let's see. So I'm gonna read from one last deck, and that will be the end of this reading. And again, thank you collective for being here for this reading and showing your support. I really appreciate all of you guys for tapping in and sticking around. And if you came in like later, you might get some really great messages from this, and might want to start the reading over when I post it. A lot of important information here. And a lot of positive energy. Like I said, I think a lot of you guys, have dealt with a lot of stuff, and now you're at that point where you're really seeing things for what it is, and using those moments that some people would, shy away from, and, not want to do anything and just kind of wallow in their misery. Like, you guys are like, fuck that. I'm working on my overall happiness, and I'm using those as stepping stones to get to where I'm trying to get. So, I like this energy for y'all. Failures here on the bottom of the deck. I understand that a mistake is only an opportunity to learn. Love that. Alright, so let's get 2 cards from here, and that'll be the end of this reading. Alright, thank you. Forgiveness is here again. I'm telling you, you guys have to practice forgiveness. It was in the reverse, technically. So yeah, there's some forgiving that you guys have to do. That's a part of your healing journey right now. I acknowledge that harboring resentment, and I said something about resentment before, blocks the flow of love and closes things off, right? One more from here, and that'll be the end of the reading. 411, 411. What's the 411, hun? It's about information. Balance. All right. And I think things are maybe feeling a little bit out of balance, or they're really wanting you to put emphasis on finding balance because this was in the reverse. I bring a state of perfect harmony into my world, and I do so without judgment. We did see the temperance card earlier in the tarot portion of the reading, so that's interesting. Kind of comes back to that. Bottom of the deck, we have health. I will honor the physical vessel that enshrines my soul. We talked about that earlier too. Wow. Judge. Wow, look at that. So we talked. One of the cards said, yeah, the one about balance says something about judgment, and then this one is the judgment card. I understand that everyone has their own unique path and challenges. Exactly. So understand that we all go through different things, and all of our different experiences, they are what make us unique. They are what empower us to be able to have a story to tell and be able to help others sometimes. Like, that's what I do with my experiences. I guess I share on here all the time different experiences that I've dealt with, and how I got to what I do. So being able to take the knowledge and pass it around and say something that's meaningful and do something meaningful. Our experiences are just that. There are things that will allow us and enable us to be able to pass our knowledge on in some type of facet, different ways, whatever that looks like for you. Some of you guys might be writers. I got writers, musicians, some people might do podcasts. These are just downloads, but there's something about being able to use your voice in some kind of facet that's going to help other people and make people feel like less judgment towards themselves even. I just felt something like go like this to my cheek. That's why I just touched my cheek like that. I felt like somebody go like that to me. I don't know if someone's loved one or something is here, or it might be one of my own, but yeah, I just felt somebody touch me right here. Almost felt like a warm, motherly figure. So maybe a grandmother or something like that. Like, if any of you guys you were laying your grandmother, an aunt or something like that, or your mom, if they passed on, I'm sorry if they did, they might have stroked your cheek like that when you would go to sleep. Let me know if that resonates with anyone. We have empathy here in the middle of the deck. I am open to seeing both sides of a situation. Yes, being open, right, to being able to analyze things in a way where it's not judgmental. Understanding other people and where they are, how they fit into the equation, right? Something like that. So, wow. Tommy, you said that resonated with you. So yeah, one of your somebody visited me just now, and they wanted me to let you know that. So, who was that for you? Yeah, but like literally, like just like that, very very like just light touch, very sweet. Like it feels very positive. I don't feel scared or anything like that. But yeah, I definitely felt that. Um, Oh, that's so sweet. I was very terrible a little bit. Okay, now that means I have to get off here. All right, guys, I love y'all so much, and thank you for being here. I really hope that you guys resonated with the message and got something out of it. If you caught it a little bit late, I would strongly suggest starting it from the beginning and see, if there's something that was in this message for you that you didn't catch. And then yeah, so today is Sunday, right? Yeah, maybe I'll come on again tomorrow. We'll see. um, there's a good chance I'll probably be on again tomorrow. So until next time, I love you guys. Mwah. Enjoy the rest of your evening. Enjoy your Labor Day tomorrow, especially if you guys are off from work. And until next time,